Hey there, welcome back to the Realm of History. Tonight we got, of course, special live edition for Chapter 19 quiz tomorrow. So a lot to go through, but really shouldn't take us too long tonight. So basically what we'll do, we'll have a little bit of opening talk here. We'll talk about some of the key terms, the key figures, the key concepts. You know that there's no short answer and very limited AP tomorrow due to the short chapter with only 3 sections. So we'll go ahead and get into that. Make sure while we're getting into preliminary particulars here, let me know that you're here in the comments and go ahead and hit the like button for me. It only takes 1 second, just one quick click, and we can kind of play with the YouTube algorithm, help a guy out here to run the channel. Okay, couple of sponsors. Cocoa Bombs, still wintertime. Got a big snowstorm coming up. Don't want to talk about that too much just yet, but we will talk about that. And then Grace's Bake Shop, right? We've got nice baked goods there from Grace. Both of those things, if you wanted to get a hold of them on Instagram, go ahead and send them a message. Get yourself some baked goods or some Cocoa Bombs. Cocoa Bomb Shop usually does some Valentine's Day specials, so be leery of that as well if you want to get something for your loved one or whatnot. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the key advice tonight. I want to go through a couple of things. Number one, I really would suggest making sure that your review sheet is up to speed. Write things down from this session. I want to reiterate, read through your outlines, read through them several times. Make sure you're matching up what's in those outlines with what's on the review sheet. As you go through your review sheet terms, make sure that any term that shows up on the review sheet that also pops off the page in your notes, you highlight, you underline, you make sure that you have a good comprehension of that above that statement and below that statement. What I mean by that is, like, let's say it's a key term. Let's say it's Caravel. Well, read the lines that lead up to Caravel. Read the lines that are after the Caravel, because that might give you some significant information that you can really use to answer certain questions. If you haven't read AMSCO, I would suggest that you read the AMSCO, watch the Heimler videos for topic 4.1 and 4.2. Number 2, I want you to really think about praying for the right things. Don't pray for success on this quiz. Never pray for success on the athletic fields. But I think right now, just remember, pray the prayer of gratitude. Say thank you for all the blessings that have been bestowed upon you. I really, really enjoyed last week's four-corner discussion when we had the question of, is it hard to be a teenage boy in today's society? And there were a lot of people in the agree and somewhat agree. There were fewer people in the disagree and somewhat disagree. But some of the people who went to the disagree, boys and girls alike, kind of stated, hey, it's how you react to situations. You might be in this spot. It might be difficult, but it's how you react to those situations that really matter. And so I really liked learning how students responded there. And I think that's the case here. You want to pray for the right things. You want to be grateful for all the blessings that you have. Remember that we are so fortunate to be at St. Mary's and to be in the position that we are, that we have a chance to worry about a snow day, right? Like other people are maybe thinking about where they're going to go because of the snow. And we're like, hey, do we get a snow day or not, right? I don't want a snow day, to be honest with you, but it could come. Now, for number 3, as always, I think right now, like I had a little statement on the intro, we got to be here now. I think a lot of students I've seen in the hallways, in classes, my classes, usually this doesn't happen, but just a lack of focus and a goofiness and squirreliness and playing tiddlywinks and, touchy-feely and just shouting about, running in the hallways. I see people doing that. That's not the St. Mary's way. And so I really want you to start getting back to being here now. And that's really important. That mental focus is extremely important to me. And number 4, I always talk about this. I don't know if you guys are doing this. I'm going to have to ask your parents at conferences coming up in March here, but say thank you to your parents, right? Make sure that you are thanking your parents for everything that they do for you. I think that goes right along with praying for the right things, and make sure you do that tonight before you go to sleep, or if you need to do it right now, go ahead. Number 5, got to meet the challenge. It's a 20-question quiz, but each question is worth 1 point. The AP is a 5-question quiz. I'm going to make each one worth 2 points. So I'm not going to really give you that that leeway of having like some points fronted. I'm going to make it 2 points a question. So you really got to know your stuff. And it's all MCQ, so it shouldn't take you too long. You can really focus on reading those prompts and getting ready. Tonight, my goal is to kind of take you through some key things. But I want to share something with you before I actually get into the key terms. And I saw this today. I kind of like Instagram because one of the cool things about it is that it has a lot of good sayings and a lot of good like quotes and things of that nature. I really like to check into those things. But one of the things I found today, and I did share it. So I want to show you this one. It says, you can't expect an A+ performance with a B- mindset. I love it. It's awesome because so true. Like if you're not being here now, if you're not focused, don't complain when you don't get the A, right? So a lot of it has to, and it also is a little bit deeper than that. A lot of it has to do with like how you look at things. You know what I mean? It's almost like how do you prepare? Like, are you telling yourself you're not going to do well in the quiz tomorrow, or are you telling yourself you are going to do well? One of my big things as a coach is visualization. Like I expect my athletes to visualize themselves making plays, visualize themselves getting out of the starting blocks, visualize themselves winning the race. Sometimes believing leads to seeing, and sometimes seeing it in your mind leads to it happening, right? So seeing leads to believing, but also believing leads to seeing, and that's metacognition in itself. So the mindset, the proper mindset, very, very important. All right, let's get into the key terms, the key places, and the key figures, of course. Starting off with the spice trade. A lot of questions about this one today, but really it's very simple. The spice trade is this deal. Spices were a hot commodity. Europeans were seeking to trade for them in the East. When I say the East, remember, section 1 would be East Asia, China, Japan, India, Southeast Asian islands. So it was one of the factors trying to get to the spices. It was one of the factors that led to European exploration. Remember, the only way they could get it is by traveling over land from east to west. They had to pay the Muslims a tax. They had to pay the Italians a tax. Those are kind of the two controlling trade after the Crusades. So they really were looking for that alternative route by taking the sea around Africa to get to India. And that was one of the key factors of this entire chapter. One of the causes of that was due to the fact that European food was rather bland. And so they were seeking those spices to make their food taste a little bit better. That was one of the honest answers there. Okay, moving our way down, the Treaty of Tordesillas. Not too much confusion about this one today. Most of the students who had this question in the review game got it right. And I'll disclose, we're not going to need to do a dice roll because one of the classes actually won that bad boy outright. So we'll take a look at which one actually won. Okay, the Treaty of Tordesillas was put together by Pope Alexander VI. You won't really need to know the Pope's name, but I just put it in there for your general knowledge. Basically, it was to help settle a conflict between Spain and Portugal, both very Catholic countries, over new land claims in the Americas. So what the Pope does is he creates this line of demarcation, he calls it. It's basically an imaginary line where the longitudinal line in the west of 60 degrees kind of cuts through Brazil. And he said, everything west of that line goes to Spain. Everything east of that line in the areas of contention, Brazil and actually the west coast of Africa, going to go to Portugal. So that's why there's a lot of influence in Brazil from Portugal. It's due to this Treaty of Tordesillas and the Pope's negotiations here. Next term is Daimyo. Daimyo, very simple. These are the warlords of feudal Japan. They're the equivalent of like the lords who had knights in Europe. Those daimyos, like the lords in Europe, often went to war with each other. There's a time period in Japanese history, which is called the Warring States period. Happened from the mid-1400s to mid-1500s. It was a time in which daimyos were at constant war with each other for control of Japan. Going back to our study of exploration in this chapter, the new ship that was designed is called the Caravel. Caravel is a new ship designed by the Portuguese, which had a combination of both square sails and triangular sails, which are also called lateen sails. I kind of told you to know both. And it basically allowed ships to travel against, or in other words, into the wind. And this was a game changer for European exploration, especially in the Indian Ocean, because off the coast of Africa on the eastern side, it's extremely difficult to travel through those winds to India at certain points in the year. They're called monsoon winds. Prince Henry was Portuguese royalty. He was a very big promoter of exploration. He founded the university that I taught you about on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, where a lot of sailors would come. That's why Portugal sort of was initially one of the big time ballers in European exploration. Bartolomeu Diaz, Portuguese sailor, product of that ideology, was the first to sail past the southern tip of Africa. He was known for sailing for God and country. A lot of his sailing, he said, yeah, I'm doing it for Portugal, but I'm also doing it for God, to spread Christianity. And we know that one of the big themes of this chapter was for God, gold, and glory, right? Vasco de Gama was a Portuguese sailor as well. He was the one that captained the first direct route to India for Portugal. So they're trying to get to India for the spice trade. Vasco de Gama was really influential in making that happen. Next is the Chinese ruler Yonglo. Yonglo was the ruler that really also promoted trade to expand the Chinese tribute system. He also, I made a type error there, he also moved the capital to Beijing and founded what's known as the Forbidden City. Hongwu, we learned about him in our group work this week. Hongwu was one that was a really strict ruler, but he did bring stability to China with, reforms, political and governmental reforms. But later he did become sort of a tyrant, killed many people that were opposed to his views. We see this as kind of a common theme during this time period. Next is Zheng He. Zheng He was a Chinese explorer that was a Muslim practitioner. He was known for leading 7 major voyages of exploration under the leadership of Yonglo. Next is the Tokugawa Shogunate. A lot of confusion about this one today. I was going around reading some of the review sheets that were being worked on, and then there were some questions, but some people thought that this was one individual person. That's not true. The Shogunate is like a military government that was created by the first shogun, Tokugawa Iyasu. Okay. Oda Nobunaga was a powerful Japanese daimyo that took power by defeating all of his rivals, all the rival daimyos in 1568. I'm being pretty brief. I'm just kind of giving you like a little light bulb reminder. I feel like you should actually put the intrinsic motivation and the effort in tonight and throughout the day today to make sure that you are ready. Okay, Toyotomi Hideyoshi was the military general of Nobunaga. He took control after Nobunaga committed suicide and continued Nobunaga's role of defeating those rival daimyos. In Japan, there's an ancient, not really ancient, but there's a long time tradition of samurai, and they follow this code called Bushido. And one of the things that samurai do if they're dishonored or if they're disrespected or if they feel like they've lost control, they'll commit suicide. It's called harikari or harikari. And basically that's what happened with Nobunaga. He was betrayed by one of his other generals. And so he did commit that ritualistic suicide. Basically, they put the sword into the ground and they basically fall into their samurai sword. Next is Tokugawa Iyasu. I mentioned him earlier. He is actually the Japanese leader credited with the unification of Japan, and he became the sole ruler of Japan when he unified it, and that name became known as the shogun. Shogun means sole ruler, and so that starts the shogunate. Okay, that's the last of the terms, figures, and things that I'm going to be going over. I felt like the other ones we should know really well. AP info tonight is minimal, okay? There's 5 MCQ questions. If you did the AMSCO reading, if you watched the Heimler videos, which I suggested, if you watch the AP classroom videos, you should be in good shape. I will say this as a couple of clues. There's 3 maps. So there's a lot of questions that are related to maps. So cartography was something that became really popular. The maps don't look like maps look like today. They didn't have satellite images. So, cartography is something that we're going to take a look at in tomorrow's AP question. But if you kind of followed the ideologies from throughout the chapter, you should really be in good shape. Okay. I don't have any riddles this time or any special commercials, kind of keeping it simple for you. Okay, I do have a couple of announcements. First of all, I'm going to go back to sharing, and I want to show you the winning team of the review game. So, second hour had a tough start with 3 out of 5. Third hour tied them with 3 out of 5. Fifth hour had 4 out of 5. Sixth hour also 4 out of 5. And then seventh hour just came out and just blew everybody away. They scored a perfect score of 5 out of 5. Eighth hour couldn't quite match them. They got 4 out of 5. So seventh hour girls, once again, are the +1 winners. So those girls can put +1 onto the quiz paper tomorrow. Congratulations, ladies. All right, we'll go back to the normal here. Okay, let's talk real quick or briefly about what I want to say snowstorm stuff. Okay, so let's just get it out there. I hope that we do not have a snow day tomorrow. Okay, my daughters who just went to bed, they are really fired up. I've never seen them so fired up about a snow day. They are wearing their pajamas inside out. They've got white crayons underneath their pillows. They've been flushing ice cubes down the toilet. I don't know what that all means, but I guess their teachers told them to do that. So we'll see what happens there. If there is a snow day, all right, then what we'll do is we'll have the quiz on Thursday. So we'll just carry it over to Thursday. The only problem is Friday is going to be an online day. So I won't be able to get through all of chapter 20, section 1 in this short 20 minutes. So probably have to come up with like an alternative plan, maybe do something different on that online day. We're definitely going to have teams for the girls, and I will try to record it so that I can play it for the boys if that's okay. I'll get their permission. I'll get everybody's permission before I record the session, but I just want to make sure that everybody's with me there. One thing I will say to my Novi crew, I know I got some Novi crew, Hickory Woods graduates. If it is a snow day and my daughters who go to Walled Lake schools are also off, definitely going sledding tomorrow. I'm either going to go, I think I'm going to go to Lakeshore Park because I haven't been there before. But there's also that really sweet sledding hill on Welch Road. I think it's called like Snowy Ridge. Anyway, that might be like option 2 for me. The only problem is that I have to drive there. I could probably walk to Lakeshore Park. So I want to, if any of my Novi crew want to meet up and go sledding, I'm definitely going. I'm going to figure out what time. So if you want to have a sledding deal, that'd be fun. The Realm Sledding Day, Novi, what have you. But don't drive anywhere. And I think that we need to add some prayers tonight for all of our new drivers. Okay, so our new drivers, our young drivers, a lot of birthdays I've been noticing. So if you're a young driver, stay home. And if you absolutely have to drive, really reduce your speeds because visibility is going to be low. Could be icy conditions, and it's just generally slippery. You got to keep your distance between you and the car in front of you, but also be cognizant of the car behind you. Like, don't let them get too close to you. You can't worry about it too much, but you want to try to somehow keep space between both entities. That's really important, okay, in driving in the snow. Just speed, slowing it down, I think is the most important factor. All right. I think I've covered everything. I think it's time to go into question and answer session. So I'm going to go work the comments now. Hopefully you've all give me a shout out to let me know that you are here, and I'll kind of go through that once again later. But I'm going to check for all of the questions that I can see and find. I never see King Ben of the Realm. He never shows up anymore. Kind of bummed out about that. I'm still looking for questions. I see a lot of people Who said we have a snow day? Is that like been an announcement or something? Did I miss? Does everybody know we have one or something? I didn't get a call. Usually I get like a phone call. Everybody's saying see me Thursday. Okay, here's a good question right here. Can you talk about the Italian and Muslim trade control for Master Bryn? Yeah, sure. No problem, Amelia. Good question. Basically, this is a key concept. And the idea is that, okay, after the Crusades, the Muslims and the Italian traders were kind of controlling trade from east to west. So what you got to think about is that the only way that you could trade spices from India or silk from China was over land. Okay. And they had to go through Muslim controlled territory in the Middle East. And then once it got into the Mediterranean, it basically went through Italy. And so those two entities would kind of heavily tax people from Western Europe, like the Dutch, like British, like Portuguese, like Spanish. So they had to pay a lot of money. And they're like, man, we really don't want to do this anymore. So they try to start exploring how they can get there by sea on their own. So that's really what that concept is all about. Yeah, definitely love my Hickory Woods people. Yeah, that's where my daughters go to school. I didn't go there. I went to Maple Elementary. When I first moved from Toledo to Michigan, I went to Maple Elementary, which is no longer there, but that was at Maple Road and like Halstead, somewhere in that range there. But yeah, Hickory Woods is a great school. I really enjoy being a parent at that school. But I like my Novi people too. We got Mia D, we got Danny D, Lola, Wyatt. I think there's probably some other ones that I'm forgetting, but we got a nice Novi crew. Qinlong, yeah, Qinlong, Nina. He was basically a Chinese ruler, most well known for like really trying to restrict British access to trade. So he really tried to limit the British getting access to trading. And there's like a letter that he wrote to King George, he basically said, look, China has everything that you could possibly need. We really don't need anything from you. So we're not going to really let you come into our country. And so what ended up happening is like the diplomats, the guy's name was Lord Macartney. He would refuse to kowtow. So they really didn't get any access. And then the Dutch came in and they gave the Dutch access because the Dutch would follow all the Chinese rituals, do the kowtow, so on and so forth. Billy, for this quiz, probably not going to affect you much, but knowing it for the future would be beneficial. Yeah, Lucas, Yonglo and Zheng He, both big proponents of exploration. Yonglo is like a leader who funded explorations. Zheng He is actually an explorer who went on the expeditions. Maps I think are going to be important, Ryan. So the opening chapter map. Other than that, there's like one page, I think I told you like 534, which has the Caravel on it. One of those pages in section 1 has the Caravel, has a picture of an astrolabe and a picture of a compass. Like that one might also be helpful. Yeah, Patterson. Kang Chi is not on the review sheet, so he's not going to be assessed on the quiz. He's another Chinese ruler, but you won't need to know him for this quiz. And then I just went over Qin Long. Jacob, the Seventh Hour Girls won. The maps that are going to be on the MCQ questions are not in your book or the AMSCO book. So you're going to have to read and diagnose those when you get them tomorrow. And they're not very clear because they're like from the 1400s. So you're not going to be able to see them very well, but there's going to be a description, and that's really important. So make sure that you read the description. The descriptions are really important. Yes, Marissa's back. We haven't seen Marissa in forever. She used to bring like her Walled Lake Central friends on here, and yeah, we've missed you. Yeah. No, seriously though, like, can you give me some official, because I haven't gotten a message. Where are you guys getting that information? Like, I don't see any email or anything like that. So, like, if you guys know before me, then that's sad, because I'm a teacher and I don't I didn't get any information. So, are you serious, or are you just playing with me? Because I'm going to be really upset. But hey, if it is a snow day, it's going to be sledding. We got to make it happen. We got to figure out. I want to go to the Lakeshore Park, but we'll see. Instagram, man, the app? Who? Or the Instagram? Nobody froze my phone, Grant. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see. Instagram. Check my chat. Instagram's the new messaging for snow days now? I don't get it. Like, what's going on here? The kids are getting emails before the teachers. Look at this. What is going on in this world? I can't believe it. Holy donkeys. Well, I mean, I guess I'm going to have to believe you guys, but I didn't get anything just yet. Yeah, still nothing. Anyway, any other real questions? I don't have the St. Mary's app, so. Well, I guess you guys have an extra day to study if you guys are right. But yeah, I'm excited now to go sledding. That's the only thing. I'm not excited to miss the quiz, because it's going to put me a day behind again. And then we're going to have an online day after that. So it's kind of frustrating, but got to have a positive mindset, right? So we got to find the positive. We should say like Jocko Willing, good. Give me an extra day to prepare, right? Okay, yeah, you can ask me any questions you want. Now we can have a little bit of fun. Let's see. What's my favorite color? Gold. Metallic gold, Malik. That's a good question. Oleg students, that's a Instagram. I don't have that. I'm going to have to get that one, I guess. But I'm not a student, so I don't know if I can get that one. Any other questions that you guys have? Go ahead. Feel free. All right. Where's my Novi people? We going to do the sledding day? I probably have to check Instagram for that too. See what's going on. Anything else? Anything else anybody needs help with? Yeah, I like this. That's how we're talking right there, Lucas. No, there's no reason that anybody should not have the A+ mindset. I like it. Oh, you want Valley Girl guest? Yeah, we can do that. Maybe next week. Maybe next chapter. Nice call. I haven't done that one in a while. You're right. I agree, Wyatt, but I think if Walled Lake's off, it's going to be packed. That one gets really crowded. Plus, you could walk there, but the other Novi crew from over on this side of the lake, we would have to drive there, and I don't know how that works out. So, but hey, we can do what you want to do. Billy, only the opening chapter map and the maps that we kind of went over about like the routes that like De Gama and so on and so forth went on. So those are the ones in the actual textbook are probably the best ones. Yeah, so you know about that one too, Grant. It's a good hill, man. We might have a St. Mary's sledding party. We're going to just get your snow pants. I don't have any snow pants, but that might be kind of fun. I'm going to bring my 3 girls. So that'll be fun. What's my favorite animal? Um, I'm not a big animal person, to be honest with you. But if I had to pick one that I think is cool, it's a lynx because they jump like. If you ever see a lynx jump, they jump like so high, and I like jumping. I was always a big fan of jumping, and I always worked on my vertical, long jump, high jump. So, yeah, lynx, they're pretty sweet. Let's see what else we got. Any real questions? I'm just looking. Oh yeah, man. Like I like Goggins. I now Goggins. I like. I've been really. I just ordered his book today. His book. I just ordered his book today. 100%. I'm not lying to you. I just ordered it. It's gonna be here on Friday. So I like Goggins. I would play Goggins in class, but he swears too much. Uh, so like I would be worried about that. But yeah, I like Goggins a lot. No doubt about it. Never been skiing. Never been skiing. So I'm out on that one. Thought about it. Thought about it. Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. Thanks, Simone. You're the best. God bless Simone. All right. Students just telling me we got snow days. Okay. Any real questions? Still got 44 ballers on and ballerinas on. So if you need any help from me, if you have any questions that you want to know, yeah, as long as it's appropriate, I'll answer it. What branch? Okay, I'll tell you, to be honest, Army. Yeah, Army. Well, when I was younger, I wanted to be in the Air Force, but probably Army if I had to choose today. Amelia, Realm Ski Day. Uh, I've never been skiing. I don't know anything about it. I don't have skis. I mean, if you want to have a Realm Ski Day, I'll come take pictures. But like, I don't know if I'm going to do any skiing. I heard it's pretty rough on the knees. Also, since there's no school, I guess there's no track conditioning either. So that'll be canceled. Everything's canceled when it's a snow day, right? All right. Any other real questions? Okay, I think we're good to go. Hey, I'm kind of bummed, but I'm kind of excited about the snow day now. So I am going to bring my daughters if they have the day off. They don't have the day off yet. So I'm gonna take them to a sledding hill. I'm gonna find out where the Novi crew is gonna be going. My Novi people, if they want to sled, and then I'll meet up there. All right. With that being said, hey, make sure you say your prayers. Make sure you say thank you to your parents tonight, and enjoy your day off. But you got to study a little bit, right? You got to get your studying done. I'll be available if you guys have any questions tomorrow that you're not sure about. I always like to work and help you out. So we'll see you on Thursday, I suppose. Hey, have a great night. God bless you. I love all of my students. And hey, rep the realm. Be here now. Nice to see you too, Luca. Keep up the good work in the wrestling. Peace.